Hello, good evening and welcome to the International Full Thread Timeline. This is Hangout 39. We'll be covering a potpourri of subjects here, so we'll call this, I think, Long Hot Summer. The photograph you see is of me in Brighton on August the 3rd, the day after my 64th birthday. You'll notice my left hand looks like a left hand, but I've had a lot of trouble. I had a really nasty accident on June the 9th and fractured my left wrist. The plaster came off and it's still giving me hell, so I went back to hospital this month and they said it's problems with the tendons. So it isn't affected by typing as much, but that, and when I fell I hit my leg with my face and my hand, and I've been having headaches and such, and the heat is very it's very hot. So but I've been doing a fair amount. I hope by the end of the year to complete around 5,000 entries. There are 4,880 or so at the moment. They're not all false rape allegations, of course. I mean, there's all sorts of things there, but it's quite a lot. Recently I've been looking at another very nice online archive, New York historical newspapers. It has a very good search engine. Chronicling America is a lot bigger, but as well as going only up to 1963, search engine's appalling. But with this one, I found quite a lot of new cases. Well, quite a lot of old cases, so I've been adding a few of those. So a potpourri of subjects. First of all, let's look at this this Black Lives Matter nonsense. I'm not going to include many more of these because there are so many of them, these social media hoaxes. This is in the timeline at June 24th this year. It's a rather obvious false allegation against no one in particular. But as I say, there are so many of them. There was a case, Izu, I don't know if I pronounce his name right, Izu Medubrezi, who was a Nigerian national. He was in Florida, and some anonymous woman accused him online of rape, and next thing he shot himself. It's really sad, these cases, you know. There's a report here from Guardian, Nigerian Guardian, different newspaper. You know, they're really sick and sad in equal measure, these sort of cases. Right, this is something from my Australian contact. This is bizarre in the extreme. The sister of the singer Mariah Carey has, I haven't looked into this yet, but she has accused their mother, their 83-year-old mother, of sexually abusing her for his satanic rituals. When she was 10 years old, making her watch child sex orgies and all sorts of bizarre stuff. That was earlier this year, apparently. She said this is quoting from the Australian press. She said she wants to use New York's Child Victims Act, which temporarily waives the statute of limitations in underage sex cases, to sue her mum, claiming the alleged abuse caused post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and the drug abuse that derived her life. So yeah, I can certainly agree with the drug abuse. This is there are people who will believe this sort of crap. I don't know. I would suggest this woman is sincere, but off her trolley. A lot of these allegations about grooming and child sex trafficking, and especially this sort of really bizarre stuff, they're not sincere. I found one today of a woman who I did a bit of research, and it appears she was at some point pimped out while she was underage. She's a Canadian national, and she ended up in I think it was Colorado, and somewhere in the United States. I found something that a guy who was pimping underage girls received something like 125 year sentence, and she appears to be one of them. But the stuff she claims that she was sexually abused as a kid by her parents, or her mother, or her parents, forced to engage in child pornography. Then later she was she ran away or whatever, and she ended up in this under this pimp's control. Then she went to a church and she met this woman who, a very, very nice woman, invited her to her home and had her gang raped, and it's just sort of absolutely outrageous stuff. Now there's so many of these women online on YouTube, but a few men as well, and the thing they have in common is that they can produce not a shred of evidence, not a shred of credible evidence. I mean, this woman, I say, it does appear that she was preyed on for this sort of you can listen to her as well. She sounds away with it. Another woman who's very much in the news at the moment is the odious Virginia Giuffre, who with the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the deposition she made in 2016 has been unsealed. She's made a lot of allegations against a lot of very powerful people, including Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Clinton. A lot of people regard the Clinton allegations as credible. I don't. And Dershowitz is far too wily a bird to. He's published a book on it, as I've mentioned before. You can download it free from the Internet Archive. Giuffre was not trafficked to be sexually abused by Prince Andrew. She came to London with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. She went to a nightclub, quaffed champagne with the famous rock stars and stuff. There's a rock club which is a nightclub which is noted for being patronised by rock musicians and such, and she probably had sex with Prince Andrew afterwards. But she's a total not just a liar, but by her own admission, she recruited underage girls for Epstein. She claimed initially she was 15 when she met Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but that wasn't tenable because she was working at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago at the time. The only thing I'll say about her is that she hasn't said anything to incriminate Trump in anything, but she's incriminated all sorts of people, which just lies. I've no doubt that she'll try to keep spinning it, but I hope at some point she ends up behind bars, perhaps sharing a cell with Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, having said that, there's all sorts of weird stuff went on with the Jeffrey Epstein case. The fact that he was given such a soft deal, and the fact that people who were in positions to do so gave him such an easy ride, leads me to suspect there is some other connection there. I don't know if it's just plain corruption or whatever, but there's certainly something very, very sinister. Apart from his abuse of underage girls, there's something very sinister about the guy. Epstein was a Jew, of course, and so, well, Ghislaine Maxwell, technically she isn't, but I don't even must have anything to do with this. 30 years ago, I had a bizarre encounter with somebody who I unmasked as a Zionist agent, and I was ignored. I published a book on it. I was ignored, and years later he sent me a threatening email claiming he'd just discovered the book. It was an email of the "I know where you live" variety. So I reported that to Charing Cross Police Station, and it was filed as a crime. It was a crime number. It was filed as a crime report. Nothing came of it, and I tried to expose him again during a trial, a civil trial at the High Court. Nothing came of it. So I mean, there's all sorts of dirty tricks go on. I mean, the Metropolitan Police, the case of Mark Kennedy is thoroughly documented. This was a police officer with rings in his ears and tattoos, the whole social justice warrior or hippie type, who spent 8 years working undercover in the environmentalist movement, and during that time the people he was monitoring were involved, if anything, they were involved in minor acts of criminal damage and civil disobedience. And for something else I won't go into here, I know that the police and other agencies do go to extreme lengths at times to monitor people they consider undesirable, and at times to frame people they consider undesirable. But I think at some point the truth will come out about Epstein, but don't believe anything Virginia Griffith says about him or about anyone else. Something from the Manchester Evening News of August the 7th, not the false rape allegation, but I did a hangout on men in uniform. This is an article about the police officer. Police officer sacked over allegations he abused his position for sexual purposes. This is Manchester Evening News, other press as well, I suppose. Police officers be sacked after allegations. Constable Oliver Norris dismissal follows an investigation by police watchdog. In 2016-2017, he entered into an inappropriate relationship with a woman, having met her during the course of his duties between January 2016 and November 2017. And another one with a second woman from September 2016 to November 2017. It appears to have had a sexual relationship with one of them, and breached professional standards. I mean, this is... I don't usually feel sorry for Plod, you know. At the moment, police officers in Portland and Oregon have been blinded by Antifa thugs shining laser beams in their eyes. I'm sorry for them. I'm also sorry for this bloke, because who reported him? What did he actually do? I don't know. This is just there are women who are attracted to powerful men, or men who have the perception of power, to uniforms, even just just humble police constables, and we've fed all this guff about the power imbalance. Well, there is a power imbalance, yeah, but as soon as a guy he's unable to resist temptation, the power imbalance switches, and he's the one who's powerless. A little bit about cancel culture here. Ellen DeGeneres, the lesbian TV hostess. No, I suppose hostess implies something different. Hospitality. But, well, I mean, she's been running a program for years, and suddenly people have realised that she's a horrible person, and there's all sorts of sexual abuse going on and sexual harassment, and but behind the scenes by members of her team, and people are told not to look in her eyes. Yeah, all of this comes out now, you know. I don't know how much of this to believe, but I think a lot of this Me Too, hashtag Me Too and cancel culture is being used to get rid of people. So it's being used to get rid of men in positions of power who haven't done anything wrong, just for hell of it, you know. And now they're coming for the lesbians. There's a report from Australia of a convicted murderer named James Hall, who was convicted of raping a female prison officer. How the hell was this possible? I mean, you might like to look up the case of Karen Cosford on the timeline, a woman who went out of her way, a prison nurse who went out of her way to have sex with a convicted serial rapist. But this sort of thing shouldn't be possible. Crispin Odey is I think this is another case of cancel culture and people in the CPS being of low intelligence. This is a guy who's an anti-Brexiteer who has been charged with indecently assaulting a woman in 1999. Give me a break. 1999. How is anybody supposed to defend against an allegation of that nature? On a similar subject, the people responsible for bringing that charge, the Clown Prosecution Service has put out a consultation on should women be permitted to have counselling, therapy in particular, while they're waiting. While they're waiting for. If a woman is accused of a man of rape, and maybe she has been raped, and she's awaiting the trial, should she be allowed to have therapy in the meantime? I'll put a suggestion about that. I think this whole therapy is total bunk, and it should be done away with. Well, worse than that. Check out my hangout on the Rape Crisis Network. I'll keep it fairly short, but I will say something about these hangouts. I'm still using Windows 7, which I believe every library in the country is using Windows 7, certainly every public library. Windows 10 is a horrible. I didn't have Windows 10, but it's best not mention it. But YouTube changed their live streaming was very easy. So I live streamed, a I did do some live hangouts. Very poor response, but I did do them. Now, if you want to upload, if you want to go live, you have to encode. It's I haven't worked out how to do it yet, but I thought now they brought in this Google Meetup, Google Meet. I thought that would be a good idea. So this month I decided to do some meetups with some selected people who were very obligingly came along, but for some reason they weren't able to. I mean, I go online with Google Meet. One of my correspondents, she was, I could see her email address there, but she couldn't get into the room, so I'm going to have to look into that. I might also look into Zoom, but I don't know how much. I mean, there's so much discussion online now that about related subjects that I don't know if it would contribute anything to the timeline. So I think what I may do for the foreseeable future is simply do the odd video like this, and edit it and upload it to YouTube and then to the Internet Archive. But I say it's a long hot summer, and I think with social distancing, hopefully there'll be a lot less rape around and a lot less false rape as well. Although I wouldn't count on it. Anyway, please check out the International False Rape Timeline at the regular URL. I'm always looking for new cases. Well, I'm especially looking for cases in foreign languages. Almost all the cases are in English. If you have any cases from China, that would be nice. Russia, one or two from China, one or two from Russia, and then Venezuela. Anywhere English isn't spoken as a first language. If you have any pest cuttings or whatever, or database entries, please send them to me. And I want to keep growing this study. Hopefully I'll get up to 5,000 entries by Christmas. Well, by the new year, if not Christmas. Anyway, please check out the timeline, and we'll make another one of these perhaps later this month, perhaps next month.